Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window as we look at the Old Station area in Wenatchee. Lots of clouds out there late this afternoon. Lots of sprinkles around the area too. And speaking of lots, boy, lots of snow this morning on both Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, but not a lot of snow forecast for the next couple of days. It will be relegated mainly to the mountain areas in the west. This map, in case you are doing some traveling this weekend, it looks like the mountains of western Montana down into Idaho and Wyoming will see some significant snow, as will the mountains of western Washington. We do have another storm system poised to move down on us just in time for the weekend, and we will tell you much more about that coming up a little bit later on. And for those watching on our Facebook, tune in to LocalTel Channel 12 or Charter Channel 19, or stream us live at ncwlife.com for the full evening newscast tonight. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The Hanford Tunnel collapse is stabilized. We'll preview the upcoming Night in a Box event, and the Apple industry sees larger profits and improve access to a foreign market. But first, we begin tonight. A Kashmir motorcyclist was injured today when he struck a deer while riding eastbound on Highway 2 about 4 miles west of Wenatchee. It happened around 5:30 in the morning. The State Patrol identified the man as 64-year-old Richard Dustin. Troopers say Dustin was ejected from his bike over the Jersey barrier into the westbound lanes. He was transported to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. The U.S. Department of Energy announced today that a partially collapsed tunnel containing radioactive waste has been stabilized at Hanford Nuclear Reservation. Officials report over 4,400 cubic yards of grout was used to fill the tunnel to prevent any future collapse. 3,000 Hanford workers were forced to shelter in place when the tunnel caved in earlier this year. There were no injuries reported. The nuclear reservation was established as part of the Manhattan Project during World War II to develop the atom bomb. The parking lot in front of the Encouraging Words bookstore on South Wenatchee Avenue will once again serve as a makeshift homeless camp for the annual Night in a Box event on Friday night. The event brings attention to the plight of the area's homeless population. Wenatchee's Lighthouse Christian Ministries has hosted the event for the past 6 years, and this year's fundraiser is spearheaded by several community leaders who have been involved in a friendly competition to raise money for the nonprofit. Among them, John Brissot, pastor with the Living Room Church.
I will say without doubt that I love the Lighthouse. I have never seen a ministry that is so kingdom focused and has impacted valley-wide like that ministry. And I know this community wants to serve. I know this community wants to give, but sometimes it's hard to know, am I giving and am I being a good steward of my giving by the organization I give it to? How do I know that it's being used for the purpose that it said it's going to? And I'll tell you without a doubt that every dollar given to this organization is exponentially creating influence and fruit around our valley. So that's why I want to be part of this. I want to challenge others to get involved with it because it is a worthwhile investment.
Pastor Brissot joined Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett, attorney Andrew Kottkamp, Apple Blossom Festival Administrator Darcy Christofferson, Bart Tilley, Kay Coldy, pastor of Sage Hills Ministry, and Doug Milner with Fibonacci Smile. Wenatchee Police lost again in their annual gridiron match against the Chelan County Sheriff's deputies. But the biggest winner was Jerry's Harvest, the nonprofit charity that helps families dealing with cancer. Detective Kevin Battis with the police department says the final score of Sunday's football game at the Wenatchee Apple Bowl was 36-6.
This is the 5th year that we've done this now. We do it, in the past we've done it for Special Olympics. We have also done it for Jerry's Harvest in the past. And this year we did it solely for Jerry's Harvest. We're hoping to have about $1,000 raised when it's all said and done. And for those that don't know, Jerry's Harvest, they provide meals on Thanksgiving for families who are dealing with family members who are going through cancer treatment or on hospice home care.
Detective Battis dismissed the lopsided final score, claiming the police department let the deputies win. He said next year will be a different story. Coming up, the Apple industry sees larger profits and improved access to a foreign market. The Washington State Patrol will begin emphasis patrols tomorrow and will preview the Festival of Trees. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive two-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Welcome back. On a 9-0 vote, the state Supreme Court ruled Wednesday that the state legislature remains out of compliance with the court's McCleary ruling on education funding. In their written order, the justices acknowledged the state has made significant progress in fully funding the program of basic education, but said that the system it used delays by over a year implementation of an approved salary model. Meanwhile, a $100,000 per day fine against the state stands. Justices questioned the legislature's attorney during a hearing on October 25th. We are having some technical difficulty with that video. The High Court's ruling summarizes nearly 6 years of history in the case. Justices say lawmakers have met the court orders regarding class sizes, all-day kindergarten, transportation, and funding for materials and supplies. The lone remaining issue is salaries. A win-win scenario recently for the state's Apple industry. Along with the potential for improved access to Indonesian markets and a bumper apple crop this year, the Apple industry will see larger profits in 2017 than it has in the past 5 years. A ruling last week by the World Trade Organization upheld a decision that Indonesia's import tariffs are inconsistent with World Trade Organization rules, which will allow more apples to Indonesia, which is Washington State's largest Southeast Asia market. Mark Powers with the Northwest Horticulture Council says this WTO ruling has been a long time coming.
Basically, USTR prevailed and the WTO denied Indonesia its appeal of this trade case, legal case. And at this point, Indonesia is supposed to come into, compliance with the ruling, and hopefully it will do so soon and remove the barriers to trade that have been keeping our product down, roughly cutting the exports to Indonesia by almost half. This one's been a long time coming, and hopefully it'll come through and we'll see another 1 million or 2 million boxes of fruit go into that market. That's what we do. We sell U.S.-made fruit overseas.
An increase in Asian imports coincides perfectly with an increase in supply, which is up 8% over last year's production. The 2017 apple crop is projected to be the third largest in history, with reports of 143 million bushels on hand and 194 million bushels in storage. Washington accounts for around 64% of all U.S. apples and 90% of U.S. apple exports. The Washington State Patrol will be conducting special multi-district emphasis patrols starting tomorrow and running through November 26th as Washington State University students travel across the state for the Thanksgiving holiday break and the annual Apple Cup football game in Seattle. District 4 troopers in Spokane, Whitman and Adams counties, and District 6 troopers in Grant and Kittitas counties will be focusing on speeding to include driving too fast for conditions, distracted, impaired driving, and other collision-causing violations during the emphasis. Motorists traveling to and from WSU will also see an increased Washington State Patrol presence on both State Routes 26 and 195, as well as Interstate 90 over Snoqualmie Pass. The calendar says it's November, but the New America Performing Arts Center is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The PAC is once again hosting the annual Festival of Trees, and NCW Life's Megan McPherson files a report previewing Thursday's opening.
The decorations are up at the downtown Stanley Civic Center with professionally decorated Christmas trees that will be auctioned off to the highest bidders. I talked to the event coordinator, Camille Cadman, about the event and the planning that goes into it.
Festival of Trees is the second largest now fundraiser for the New America Performing Arts Center. We create a virtual forest of Christmas trees of all sizes and shapes and mini trees and wreaths, and it's all Christmas. So there's really nothing here that is not about Christmas. So we have, oh my goodness, 65 mini trees and wreaths, 19 classic trees. Most of those have gifts that go with them. 5 grand trees that will be auctioned off Saturday night at our live auction and dinner. And then a variety of artwork. So there's a lot here to see. We start in our upper lobby at the Performing Arts Center and stretch back all the way through the ballroom of the Convention Center.
You'll have a chance to preview the show for yourself and perhaps find a fully decorated tree to bid on at Saturday's gala. A public viewing is slated for Thursday starting at 10 a.m. I'm Megan McPherson for NCW Life News.
Stevens Pass is opening for its 80th season of operations tomorrow after an abundance of early season snow hit the area. November 16th is tied for the third earliest opening day, with the latest storms bringing in a total snowfall of 37 inches according to the resort. There will be reduced lift ticket prices for opening day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with restaurant, shops, and lessons available as well. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hi everyone, Brent Crowder here at Town Nissan. Come on down to Town Nissan and help us celebrate the best-selling SUV in America today, the 2017 Nissan Rogue, along with its big brother, the Nissan Murano, and the beautiful Maxima, and the all-new Nissan Titan, and the all-new Nissan Armada. Come down and see us and see why we are the fastest-growing car company in America today. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
So, how you guys doing?
My job starts in Portland in a month.
Can we find a buyer that fast? I think we're good. Our CBX app tells us who the best potential buyers are. We can pinpoint where the hottest prospects are located, right on this map.
2 cities over.
It even lets us set the most accurate price.
Wow, it really does all that.
It really does all that.
Will help us pack?
We're working on that.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy hump day. Well, we went through the Big Nine postseason awards for football yesterday. Let's take a look at the Caribou Trail League. They're out with their postseason honors today. Cascade first-teamers include Jose Mendoza at quarterback, Eric Rosario at offensive line and linebacker, Jose Valdez at running back, and Quinn Ashcraft as a wide receiver, tight end, and defensive end. Taking a look at Cascade's second-teamers, Teague Duncan at running back and Jose Valdez at defensive back. For Kashmir, first-team selections Jacob Ball at running back, Cross Knoll at wide receiver and defensive back, Brooks Elliott at defensive end, Shane McCormick, a linebacker, and Noah Phillips at defensive back. Second-team selections for Kashmir, Tyler Kurt at QB, Noah Phillips at defensive back, Terry Kirk at offensive line, Shane McCormick at running back, and Daniel Wright defensive back. Going up to Chelan, their first teamer, Skylar Gordon at O-line and D-line. Second teamer, Hunter Liebecker on the offensive line, Eric Alcala at running back, Brent Mendeval at wide receiver, Arthur Drake at defensive line, Avi Stitt at defensive end, and Kyle Jackson at the defensive back position. The Caribou Trail League offensive MVP, Julian Cates of running back out of Okanagan. Also the Bulldogs defensive MVP, Jordan Jesse. Coach of the Year, Phil Zukowski in his last year at Kashmir. Sportsmanship Award went to Chelan. Now on to soccer. All league selections, first of all, for the Columbia Basin Big Nine are out. Congratulations to Wenatchee's Jaden Griggs, Player of the Year, and Panther head coach John Springer, Coach of the Year. Also selected to the first teams are Wenatchee's Allie Flynn, Kate Springer, Ariana Escobedo, and Allie Rader. Eastmont's first team selections include Cheyenne Chang and Emma Simpson. Second team selections for both schools include Wenatchee's Greta Wiersma and Emmy Coldy, as well as Eastmont's Vanessa Valdez and Natalia Alonso. Moving on to the Caribou Trail League's all-league selections in soccer, Cascade's Lauren Richardson is the Player of the Year, and Coach Glenn Stefanko is the Coach of the Year. First teamers for Cascade, Ashley Parton, Emily Gaines, Victoria Driscoll, and Keisha Musket. Also receiving first team selections were Kashmir's Amy Martin, Chloe Diaz, Grace Erdman, Cami Kadishka, and Ellie Pheasant. Chelan's Mia Bordner was a first-team all-league selection as well in the Caribou Trail League. Turning our attention to the second-team selections, Cascade's Josie Brennan, Maddie Vandal, and Devin Archer in goal. Kashmir's Grace Hammond and Megan Smith. I think that should be Grace Airman. We'll check on that. And Chelan's Wendy Mendez, Asmi Vera, and Ashley Sams in goal. We'll run down the all-league selections in volleyball coming up tomorrow. Well, our week of sports on the NCW Life Channel got to going last night and continues tomorrow. Hockey night is back on Thursday with the Wild taking on West Kelowna from last Friday at the Town Toronto Center. Hockey night starts at 7 with Call of the Wild in Clarkie's Corner. Then gets underway with hockey after that, about 7:15. Then on Friday, it's a replay of Wenatchee's football game versus Moses Lake from October 20th at 7 p.m. Saturday features volleyball between Wenatchee and Moses Lake at 2. Then the Bridge of Sportsmanship game at 7. On Sunday, it's a wild Sunday on the NCW Life Channel as 4 Wenatchee Wild games will play back-to-back starting at 12 o'clock. Well, the latest college football playoff rankings are out, and Washington State is now ranked higher than Washington. The top 10, Alabama, Clemson, Miami, and Oklahoma are 1 through 4. Then you have Wisconsin, Auburn, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Penn State rounding out the top 10. Washington State moves up 5 to number 14, while Washington, after its loss to Stanford, moves all the way down to number 18 on this week's poll. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life Channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. In our feature story tonight, local caterer Barb Andre Van Lith recently sat down with Mike Magnotti on Street Talk and Other Stuff to talk about her experience with being gay in Wenatchee. Here's a portion of that discussion.
I have not had a lot of issues at all, and I kind of thought that I might, especially being super young, taking on a business adventure. Right. The first thing I thought was, will anybody come through the door when they know 2 gay women own the restaurant? You know, so that was a little frightening. So as a young 23-year-old, kind of figuring out my sexuality anyway, you know, I had to figure out how I was going to navigate through that. And, you know, I don't hang rainbows in my, you know, I keep my personal life personal,
Sure.
my professional life professional, and I started out that way. And, you know, I don't have a real big chip on my shoulder, but I haven't had a lot of negative experiences either. So I've had great luck with this community. And I really advocate now, being older and have gone through being young, you know, having a family, meeting a partner. We've been together almost 19 years.
Yeah, you guys have been together quite some time. How many
Yeah,
kids do you two have?
2 kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had them together. So there's challenges that are posed with being gay. You know, like having children and what that looks like.
Right.
You know, things that you have to go through, legalized marriage, all of that stuff. But as far as my personal journey in this community, it's been wonderful. I mean, at first, I think that people, you know, I love this story. People would come in and go, you know, the Cellar Cafe, those 2 lesbians own it, you know. And then it kind of just shifted. Once we just got, we were just no different than anyone else. Right. And I feel like this community has given me so much, so I give back a lot.
Man, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Wenatchee, and I'm proud that you're having that experience. So
absolutely.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and I can pass that down to the young people who struggle. You know, I went to a meeting the other day, and to listen to their stories is kind of heartbreaking. And I just give them the hope that they can have, you know, a normal functioning life.
Okay.
Business, family, house, you know.
And this is a good community to do it.
For that full episode and more of Street Talk and other stuff, visit our on-demand section of ncwlife.com. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Is this really what we're gonna do on our girls' night out? We should go to Club Crow.
The bar and grill in Kashmir?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Kashmir, the coolest place in town.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Time now for a recap of some of our top stories. A Kashmir motorcyclist was injured today when he struck a deer while riding eastbound on Highway 2 about 4 miles west of Wenatchee. It happened around 5:30 this morning. The State Patrol identified the man as 64-year-old Richard Dustin. Troopers say Dustin was ejected from his bike over the Jersey barrier into the westbound lanes. He was transported to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. Stevens Pass is opening for its 80th season of operations tomorrow after an abundance of early season snow hit the area. November 16th is tied for the third earliest opening day, with the latest storms bringing in a total snowfall of 37 inches, that according to the resort. There will be reduced lift ticket prices for opening day, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow, with restaurant, shops, and lessons available as well.
Hi, I'm Lonnie Boucher, attorney and owner of Estate Edge.
And now your weather forecast for north central Washington. Before we get to that, let's take another look outside our weather window. Still some lingering showers around. A storm system we'll talk about in a second is making its way through and will move through as we look down at the Old Station area in Wenatchee. What we're seeing as we take a look at our satellite loop is that another in the series of wet Pacific storm systems slowly moved through our area late today. You can see that pushing through into western Washington and through into Canada. There is a 20% chance of rain left over on Thursday, but for the most part tomorrow we will see a break in the active weather pattern. That will be especially in place for Friday and into Saturday as a weak area of high pressure is squeezed between two lows. By late Saturday night and Sunday, another low pressure system moves down from Alaska and northern British Columbia, which will increase our chance of rain to about 70% on Sunday and 30% chance on Monday. Afternoon temperatures throughout the weekend and early next week will remain near or normal highs for this time of year, and that normal high for right now is 45 degrees. Let's take a look at that forecast, and overnight tonight we'll drop down to 35 degrees, still maybe some lingering showers around. For tomorrow, a break in all of that. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, 46 for our high. On Friday, probably our best shot at sunshine. We could be partly cloudy to even mostly sunny for Friday and 45. Kicking off our weekend Saturday, we should expect about 44 with 33 our low as we head into Sunday. And that will be our rainy day. A 70% chance of rain during the day Sunday. Also a 70% chance of more precipitation at night. That'll drop down to 30% chance for Monday, where we'll top off at 44. And the same goes for Tuesday as far as high temperatures anyway. Mostly cloudy then with a high of 44. And there are two types of people during the winter season. Take a look at this video and then decide, which one are you? And if you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or at our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, make sure you tune in to NCW Life Channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life Channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life Channel on Twitter.
Honey, I got the space heater.
Make sure you survive winter. Call Central Washington Heating and Air before it's too late. This winter, don't get shocked by the cold. Call Central Washington Heating and Air today.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community. Come see us at the Plaza in Lake Chelan.
Pets are not your whole life, but they do make your life whole. At Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital, not only do they understand that fact, they live it every day. Dr. Baez and her staff at Paws and Claws love dogs and cats so much they've dedicated their lives to the well-being of our four-legged friends. They offer compassionate care with a personal touch. Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital on the corner of 4th and Nile in East Wenatchee, or call 888-PAWS.
the 2017 Ski-Doo Summit sleds. Next generation rev platform. The most powerful two-stroke engine in the industry. For the unmatched handling and power to own the next side hill, the next drop, the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
I'm Bryce Newberry, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.